Hello everybody. Today is gonna be a little bit of a different video. I like to be a positive channel, you know? But sometimes I just gotta look at the negative. So, as the title might suggest, I am pretty much all done with RWBY. RWBY has been one of my favorite shows since I was a teenager. You know, it started in 2013. I basically started watching it around 2014 and I've loved it ever since. You know, it was even the one show I got a membership for, you know, the RT First membership for the website. But after Volume 6, I think I'm done. Even if none of you have ever seen RWBY or even heard of it, I hope you'll at least watch this video and give it a chance. You know, it's basically the same feeling I got with Star Wars. You know, that something I loved became ugly and distorted by politics, by specifically social justice politics, even if it is that. But before I can get into why I am done with RWBY, I must tell you what it is. RWBY is a show that was created by Monty Oum. The show is about 4 girls who go to an academy to become huntresses to fight off against the creatures of Grimm. Unfortunately, Monty Oum passed away during the production of RWBY's 3rd volume. And that was pretty much the beginning of the end for RWBY. First strike for me with RWBY as a show was Volume 5. Now, I firmly believe Volume 5 will go down as one of the worst seasons of RWBY ever made. The story was boring, and myriad of other things, animation changes, fight scenes being weird and awkward. But what probably irked people the most, including myself, was the characters' personalities suddenly changing, like drastically. Like Mushu from Milan to drastic. One of the worst characters that came out of this was Adam. Now, Adam previously had been set up as a morally gray character. He was part of this group called the White Fang, who fought for equal rights for their people, the Faunus. Basically just people with animal ears and tails. And he was also Blake's mentor, who's one of the main characters of RWBY.
I had a partner named Adam. More of a mentor, actually. He always assured me that what we were doing would make the world a better place. But of course, his idea of a perfect future turned out to be not perfect for everyone.
And what did they do in Volume 5? They turned him into an angry ex-boyfriend, despite there being no evidence of a romantic relationship prior to Volume 5. And this abusive ex-boyfriend version of Adam came off as so obviously evil that it was almost comedic. Like, oh, the one thing he would never do was kill a Faunus. And what do they have him do? Kill a Faunus. Yeah. Volume 5 definitely was the first strike for me. But then came Volume 6. So Adam shows up for the first episode, but doesn't appear again until episode 9 for little to no explanation. And then there's Blake versus Adam, and then Yang jumps in. So Blake and Yang versus Adam is probably one of the most disgusting, most abhorrent fights I've ever seen in the history of the show. And that includes the battle at Haven. This entire fight, at least 75% of it, is composed of panning shots of Blake and Yang holding hands and chastising Adam. Now, we're going to say, well, what's wrong with that? He was an abusive ex-boyfriend. Well, the show never gave any evidence of him and Blake having a romantic relationship. Yang is left off even worse because she has never had a single conversation with Adam. Last time she saw him was when he cut off her arm. She cannot make a proper judgment based on Blake's words alone. And these two had the most ugly character personality switches that I've ever seen. Yang went from being a fun-loving, go-with-the-flow kind of girl to basically a freaking Twitter warrior. That's what it was all about. In this fight, they also had Adam reveal his face, and at first I thought maybe they were going to take a new direction with his character, but they did not. Instead, they killed him off like an old Band-Aid that you need to just rip off, because that is how little they cared. So they kill him, they stab him, and then he tumbles off a cliff, and then, oh look, hugs ensue, and then in the final episode, they're just like, oh wait, we killed Adam, okay, it's all good now, hugs and kisses, even though that was literally your mentor. And even if they were going the abuser route, you still would have some trauma over killing someone, because Blake is not a person who kills. That was established in the frickin' Black trailer. And this volume really cemented Yang as only caring about Blake. Because that was a relationship, right? To only care about your lover. No, it is not. I mean, never mind the fact that her sister and uncle and her other teammate are traveling alongside her. I mean, she only, grabbed Blake when her sister and uncle were still in the room. This frickin' monster coming out of the frickin' cellar? Are you kidding me? I'm literally 100% sure this fight was just to pander to the Tumblrite Bumblebee shippers. Now, if you're a RWBY fan, if you ship Bumblebee, I'm not saying that as a stab against you. I'm just saying that the Tumblrite people who just want gay ships and everything caused this to happen. So, yeah, and I even heard them, Rooster Teeth Con for Volume 6. Yeah, they said there would be new LGBT characters in Volume 6. And what did we get? We got the two main characters being gay with each other, even though there was no evidence to suggest previously. Well, if you think my problem with RWBY and why I'm done with it extends to just the show and just the writers pandering to every possible ship imaginable, well, no. It gets worse. In late 2017, Shane Newville, a former animator for RWBY and one of Monty's closest friends and colleagues, released a letter titled "To All Who Treasured Monty Oum." It is quite a few pages long, but the basic summary of it is that after Monty's death, he and Monty's wife Shayna were treated like literal garbage by Rooster Teeth. Shane was burdened with so much work he could barely keep up and see his family, while Shayna was left out of the role promised to her by her husband and basically went uncredited for the rest of the series. And so the two people who could possibly replicate Monty's dream apparently were cast out by Rooster Teeth. However, after Volume 6's conclusion, this letter, I realized, is 100% true. Because in the fight between Blake and Yang versus Adam, there's a sequence where Yang fights Adam one-on-one for a bit. And people realized that this was actually Monty's sequence from Volume 3. And one of the sections of the letter was Shane detailing a sequence between Yang versus Adam in Volume 3, where she would fight him one-on-one on equal footing. And Monty's hard drives were also stolen from Shane and given back once Rooster Teeth had archived it all. It hit me like a slap to the face that this letter is actually true. The Rooster Teeth who said they would keep honoring Monty's memory and was smiling all the while is nothing more than just a bunch of shitty people wanting to make money off of what Monty had created. Not only that, but just a couple weeks after Volume 6's finale, Vic Mignogna was fired from his role as Crow Bronwyn in RWBY. After allegations came up of him hugging and kissing people, okay, and as soon as these allegations became, kind of popular, Rooster Teeth let him go with a snap of their fingers. Just like that. They didn't even wait a little bit. They just fired him. Their most popular, their most famous RWBY voice talent, they just fired like that. Just like that. So, I am now in the belief that Rooster Teeth will just fire people when they see no more use for them. So, screw you, Rooster Teeth. Screw you. I am done with you. I am done with your shows. Yes, even Genlock.
Well, I do believe that accounts for everything. Before I take these Dragon Balls and leave my associates here to clean up, is there anything you'd like to say to me, Vegeta?
As a matter of fact, there is. Look at your men, now back to me. Now look back at your men, back to me. I am not your men. I'm flipping you off.